My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 17, 2024. It is 6:34 a.m. This is video number 2. I want to continue with where I left off, but however, I switched some stuff. Okay, here I was gonna talk about the squad making fun of things, but I had some other tweets that were a bit more serious, so I want to tackle them first. There's the GMA interview. We're gonna start with that. I'm sorry, there will be screenshot with that. Just pay attention to what is being said instead of the visual aspect of it, because with that, when I leave the thing play with the full recording, the video aspect of it, YouTube give me problem with that. So there will be screenshot in between. All right, so this is the background. Okay, so let's just go on Twitter and tackle it. That was the last thing I did. Okay, first tweet. Okay, let's pause. This is from Good Morning America. Exclusive Prince Harry to at Reeve Will. I believe this is the Superman son. Wow, he has grown. I will not recognize him. I still remember when his mom passed and she was taking care of the father, and she died of cancer. And then who died first? I think the father died first, and then soon after she passed. She was too busy taking care of the husband. Okay, so that's a different story. I'm sorry. Let me move on. Oh, before I move on, and then I think he moved to the UK, I think, because the older siblings from previous marriage were living in the UK. Let me go look it up. Okay, so I find my answer here. So it's under here. Now I remember. So I was wrong. Okay, so there's a People magazine article. I'm not even gonna go into it. So there's this here. What is Christopher Reeve's son doing today? All right, June 22, 2022. Healing with David Kessler. William Reeve is a news correspondent for ABC News and Good Morning America. He is the son of Dana and Christopher Reeve, the iconic Superman. He continues his parents' legacy by serving on the board of directors for the Christopher and Dana Reeves Foundation. So this is what I wanted to look here. Okay, where did William Reeves live? Although he has 2 half-siblings from his father's first marriage, Will went on to live with close friends after his mother died. Okay, so that's what happened here. Wow, he went through a lot as a young boy. Did he ever see his father walking? I know the father. Okay, I'm completely off now. Okay, feel free to skip. There's a timestamp in the description. Okay, according to family friends, Dana wanted him to stay in Bedford, New York, with the people he grew up around. The proud hockey mom made the arrangements before her death. Wow. Oh, that's from the People magazine. So I guess if you want to just look for it. All right. So let's go back to this. Because I know a little bit about it, that's why I was so curious. And I almost gave you the wrong information. Because for some reason, I thought he moved to the UK to be with the father, with the half-siblings. But no. Okay, so he stayed in New York. The mom made the arrangement. And I was aware of that too. I just completely forgot. Okay, so let's get back to this. Sorry about that. Exclusive Prince Harry to Reeve Will on visiting King Charles after cancer diagnosis. I love my family. The fact that I was able to get on the plane and go see and spend any time with him, I'm grateful for that. Okay, so wow, it's 5 minutes and 17 seconds. There will be screenshots. Okay, let's listen.
In moments, the Duke of Sussex will be hurtling headfirst 60 miles an hour down a winding track of ice in the mountains of Canada.
What?
It's all part of his and Duchess Meghan's multi-day tour of the site of Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025, the couple giving GMA exclusive access. Harry's the founding patron of the games, and for next year's first ever winter edition, competitors, many of them wounded veterans from up to...
Okay, this is a different thing here. He actually, William Reeve, there's this, what's this guy name? He plays Superman as well. What's his name? I'll put a picture of him because he's looking like that other guy as well. But let's continue. He's tall. That's from his father.
Competitors, many of them wounded veterans from up to 25 nations, will participate in about a dozen events, including Skeleton, that head-first luge. Harry's trying it and bringing me with him.
Make sure that you're nice and relaxed, and then all you have to do is like...
It's like a yoga instructor for the world's scariest yoga.
After a brief scene...
That was kind of funny because yoga is supposed to calm you and, you know, make you relax, but this one is you breathe in and then that's kind of scary as well. We saw the video of Harry going down the skeleton.
Safety training, we meet competitors at the top.
We are going to be sliding from Maple Leaf Start. We are going to be doing one run from here, reaching up to 100 kilometers an hour. So Arno's first.
Oh my god, this is scary.
I don't want to speak too soon, but the first part is... Are you quite competitive?
Sometimes. Depends on what it is.
Yeah. Are you going to... I feel my competitive juices flowing up. We will.
Good luck, mate.
Good luck.
Then it was Harry's turn.
Don't make international news, okay?
Since leaving the royal family nearly 4 years ago, the Duke and Duchess's every move has made headlines. And just last week, an unexpected diagnosis for Harry's father, King Charles.
How did you get the news that the king was ill?
I spoke to him.
And what did you do next?
I jumped on a plane and went to go and see him as soon as I could.
How was that visit for you emotionally?
Look, I love my family. The fact that I was able to get on a plane and go and see him and spend any time with him, I'm grateful for that.
What's sort of your outlook on his health?
That stays between me and him.
An illness in the family can have a galvanizing or sort of reunifying effect for a family.
Absolutely.
Is that possible in this case?
Yeah, I'm sure. Throughout all these families, I see it on a day-to-day basis. The strength of the family unit coming together.
Just physically being in California, how have you processed the fact that there's so much happening back with your family where you come from?
I have my own family,
right?
So as we all do,
yeah.
Right? So, my family and my life in California is as it is. I will...
He's making it clear, okay? He has his family. His family is in California. Good. And don't get me wrong, he's asking the right question too, but it's the response that really, Harry is centered. He knows what needs to be said. Alright, so, the tabloid in the UK will still make noise no matter what. But let's continue.
I've got other trips planned that would take me through the UK or back to the UK. So, I'll stop in and see my family as much as I can.
That's my next question about your family. How's Harry the dad?
How's what?
How's Harry the dad?
I can't tell you, that's classified.
Okay. It's top secret?
It's top secret.
Really?
No, the kids,
making lunches?
The kids are doing great. The kids are growing up like all kids do, very, very fast. They've both got an incredible sense of humour and, make us laugh and keep us grounded every single day like most kids do. So, I'm just very grateful to be a dad.
How are you enjoying your time living in the US?
It's amazing. I love every single day.
Do you feel American?
Do I feel American? No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
Would you think about becoming a citizen?
I have considered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What would?
You know what that brings me? When how do you call this? When I did the video regarding citizenship. Oh my lord. The squad came after me. That was at the beginning when I just started. I'm telling you, when I first started, I was looking at every angle, and then thank God I shared the process. When I hear the squad come in, the comments are still there. Well, lately, YouTube is flagging videos that were there 4 years ago. So this one they haven't touched yet. But anyway, so some of the videos that were there, like the citizenship one, the squad came after me. And I could understand their concern. Many of them were there before me, so they knew what was happening. But for me, I was educating myself to know what was going on before and where I'm at now and how it's going in the future. So doing those other videos, I think, helped me a lot. And I raised that question as well. Go watch that video. I think I call it citizenship. I'll put the thumbnails of it. I remember what it is. It has the US and the UK flag, and I think I have is the Statue of Liberty in it, and the the Golden Gate Bridge or something like that. Just look at the screen. That's the video I'm talking about. Let's continue.
What would stop you from doing it?
I have no idea. I'm here standing next to this with these guys. The American citizenship is is a thought that has crossed my mind, but certainly not something that's a high priority for me right now.
Aside from Invictus, what else what's keeping you busy?
But it's good that he mentioned that.
I have considered it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would stop you from doing it?
I have no idea. I'm here standing next to this with these guys. The American citizenship is is a thought that has crossed my mind, but certainly not something that's a high priority for me right now.
Aside from Invictus, what's keeping you busy when you're out of the house?
Everything.
Yeah?
Everything in the house, everything outside the house. So no, the mission continues, and every element of the work continues. And before you know it, February next year, this time in a year's time, we're going to be right here doing all this again. Hopefully you'll be here. And we're going to have the whole of Whistler and hopefully the whole of Canada screaming these guys on for an epic games.
Back on the skeleton track, Harry making it safely to the bottom, hitting a top speed of 99 kilometers or 61 miles per hour.
Oh man.
That was awesome. Good.
Well done.
Then, my turn.
You had 99, I had 98. It seems to matter so much to you. Where do you get the desire to be so involved in helping other people?
I've always had a life of service, and then I get my fix being part of it with these guys. There's no version of me coming here, watching them and not getting involved myself.
Watching Harry here, that certainly rings true. His whole time on the mountain, he was engaging in all the activities and talking to the competitors, really immersing himself in all this. And coming up in our second hour, we have an all-access exclusive look at Harry's preparations for next year's Invictus Games and what it means to him personally and to his legacy, guys.
What a fascinating conversation, Will.
Yeah.
And Rebecca took note of that number.
98 kilometers per hour you were going, Will?
Yeah, I couldn't beat him, unfortunately. We had to bet that we'd break 100.
I'm just impressed you did it in the first place.
Yeah, he play hacky. Okay, the thing that I just looked at. But let's read some of the comment. Harry was always jolly and had a good sense of humor, which is now practically extinct. What? Which is now practically extinct? I mean, he's a father. He just told you there's other priorities in his life. And you mean the things that he used to do back in the UK? That's what, work. There's a video I was doing in the previous one where there's an image of him walking behind the brother. Let me read this. There's 13 comment. Okay, well, his wife has been bullied mercilessly in the British press for 6 years. There are hate accounts dedicated spreading conspiracy theories that his children are not real. He seems pretty happy to me, all things considered. Harry is free from the shackles of an institution, very happy, loved, and looking amazing on it. I mean, these people, what they wish for Harry, it's the fantasy of stuff. But meanwhile, there's Harry who chooses who he wants to be. They refuse to accept it. Okay, Harry is happy, said you still want his miserable and spare. All right, so that clown. All right, let me go back. All right, great interview. I love that he also emphasizes his own family. He loves his father, but his home and priority is with his own family, just like it will be for any other man. Yeah, always involved with his fellow veterans. I love and respect that. Okay, he loves his family so much that he wrote spare and tribute to them. He had to, because of all this nonsense that the tabloid, the royal family, keep on allowing the tabloid to write stupidity, lies, and all of that. Look what I just read. There's a count that dedicated to write misconception about him, that his children are not real. Well, if I don't know, I don't follow the royal family, but in their on their IG post or anything that they post about Harry and Meghan, the negativity under the comment section, okay, usually for them, the royal family, the King Charles, the William, and the Kate, when the negative comments start popping, they either block those viewers or remove those negative comments or just shut the comment section completely. But when it's Harry and Meghan, where they talk about them, or either for whatever it is that it, they let it stay. So I don't know what these people think. All right, I'll go into that for a few. He merged his visit to his father. Has the man no shame left at all? Well, he have plenty of self-respect. He try not to talk about those kind of things. He said that's between him and his father, whatever that needs to come. All right, so let's go into that. Okay, you can love your family and also have enough understanding of how unhealthy and toxic your family is. Those things are not mutually exclusive, but I don't expect you to grasp this concept. Okay, I totally understand. Okay, these are people who refuse. Okay, the squad dropping receipts. All right, there's receipts here. My goodness. All right, I already know what she's making reference to. Okay, you got the guy who the brother allowed to interfere in Harry's wife lawsuit, and then next thing you know, they're giving him an award. William cost Harry a child, and you complaining about a book. All right, so there's that here. They all are baggage forgot. Let me move on to the next one. I believe that I have another video. This is Missan Harriman, who I didn't listen to it, but when I saw it, I quickly put it on the list. Okay, let's pause. It's only 29 seconds. What you see is who they are. Prince Harry and Meghan. Okay, Meghan Markle, Missan Harriman. Okay, 29 seconds.
My lens is there for truth. And as many of you in this room know, I'm very old friends with the Duchess Meghan, and I'm just honored for them to ask me to capture so many of the most important moments of their lives. And my lens is really, really observational, and what you see is who they are.
Okay, so I guess he was doing some sort of an event and going through images, and this image was one of them. I'm guessing, I do not know. Okay, well said. The truth and nothing but the truth. Okay, that's an ad. Thanks, Uncle Misan. Love Misan for who he is and what he stands for. Okay, so let's go to the next tweet. All right, so there's that. Let's pause. Okay, so I think I made, no, that's not the one I made reference to. Never mind. Is that more videos? No. Okay, the more money Harry and Meghan makes, the less power the royals have over them, which in turn means the prospect of ever having to give press access shrinks. That's why these morons are pissed. All right, so she retweeted that. There's Henry VIII. I haven't highlighted some of her tweets lately because she always brings some really good conversation. So she retweeted that. What they and royal family are really worried about is that Prince Harry and Meghan will continue to become financially independent, where they will never need that family for anything and still continue to outshine the publicly funded royals and serve in philanthropy. If the royal family learn through their own experiences, okay, usually the things that they worry about is what really make people upset about them. They should just ignore Harry and Meghan, okay? Whatever it is that they worry about, just ignore them and focus on their own thing. It's because they don't have any focus. They have nothing significant to share. So they worry about other people's doing things, okay? Bringing society forward. But them, they so freaking lazy. They're comfortable with just receiving taxpayers' money for doing very little. Meanwhile, they're worrying about the others who's doing, you know, whatever it is that they do to sustain themselves. All right, so let's listen to that. It's only 50 seconds.
She said you can't live in Montecito the way they're living without it costing about $20 million a year.
What?
Yeah.
How is the way Harry and Meghan's lifestyle affect any of these people? How is it their problem somehow? How is it? I just don't get it. It's not my money. It's not their money that is sustaining Harry and Meghan's lifestyle. So why are they so concerned about how much the cost of living is in Montecito? It's none of their business. It's none of their business. Harry and Meghan are not asking anybody for money to live the way they live. They're working their ass off to make whatever it is that they make to pay for their lifestyle. What the hell is wrong with these people?
That's the sort of...
He needs to call Prince Albert of Monaco. We'll get to that in a moment.
They've got huge.
No,
They have got...
he needs to stay away from that also, because then he had issue with what was happening. Oh yeah, with Harry for making the decision. He raised his voice for something. I think there's 2 videos. His face is on the thumbnails. So he doesn't need to call him, because these people don't mean well for Harry. Prince of Monaco should worry about himself, because his wife, the way that, I don't know what's going on within their marriage, she's not doing well. Alright, so let me move it back a little bit. And them too, they don't need to worry about Harry and Meghan, how much it is that they're paying. Okay, you guys told them, along with Piers Morgan, go back to America.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
So there they are. They're making a life for themselves. Don't worry about how much money they're making. All right, let's continue.
They've got huge outgoings.
They have got massive
Security,
outgoings.
mortgage, everything. I mean, when I speak to people out there, they'll say they're obsessed with security. They don't want to live in a...
These people are funny. Who the hell will speak to them about Harry and Meghan's security? Who the hell will speak to them about such things? Making up that nonsense. They already know Harry and Meghan's security are priority, telling they're speaking to other people. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Smaller house that you love.
Okay, I wonder why they worry about security. I wonder why. One thing that I said in some old videos is that the money that his mom left for him, okay, that alone will be blown away in 1 year. Not even 1 year. Because security is very expensive. You're risking the lives of those security people as well. And then his father and them who's speaking about that, they're making him needing more security every day. My goodness. They should be ashamed of themselves talking about this. Moving back it again.
Outgoings.
They have got massive outgoings.
Mortgage, everything. I mean, when I speak to people out there, they'll say they're obsessed with security. They don't want to live in a smaller house. They absolutely love their house. I think they had a $9 million mortgage when they took it out. They still had to pay. And he's had his money from Spotify. He's had his money from...
One of the things that I say about the mortgage is that even though, okay, I don't know the financial situation at that time and currently, I don't know. One of the things that I said is that even if they had the money to pay it all at once, and I'm sure they will take out a loan. Why? Because of Harry. Harry never had any issues for money, and he needs to build on his credit. In order to build on his credit, the mortgage will get him started, because you have to pay every month. Make sure that you're up to date with things so you could build your credit score. Okay, I said that in some old videos. What happened? Some of the squad came after me. Anyway, let's continue.
And he's had his money from Spotify. He's had his money from Netflix. There is a worry behind the walls of Buckingham Palace. What happens when the money runs out? They've had a big...
Don't worry about it. Because Charles cut his wing and told him to go fly. That's the way that I see it. Okay? So Harry's flying. When there's an issue, I'm sure they're not that crazy and spending money like crazy. Like, for instance, whatever extra that they have, I'm sure they save it for their security. So Charles don't need to worry about that. Okay? If he really care about all of that, what he did to Harry, he should have done it. That half in and half out would still be at play right now, but he's so petty and so freaking vile of a monster, so Harry had to do what he had to do. And thank God, one of the things I've also said is that the royal family should learn about finance. And through that conversation, one of the things that I said as well is that Harry, because the way the royal family treated him, okay, Harry was the one who was doing most of the work. I don't care what the tabloids say about Princess Anne, the hardest working or whatever, but Harry work, people feel it and they could see it and they experience it. It sustained those people. Okay? Harry was doing most of the work, and who knows, I don't know how Charles pay him, but still, if it was a monthly basis where they pay him, there's an income coming, maybe Harry would have created an account somewhere. but I don't know how they pay him.
Driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name, because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla? It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
But the fact that the way that Charles was treating Harry, it made Harry become very frugal, learn how to conserve, how to prioritize things, when to buy things on sale and all of that. So I guess that was the training that he needed, so he could be able to live the lifestyle that he's living right now. Because even Meghan, through Meghan's childhood, she didn't live, she explained it as well, she didn't grow up with all of those fancy stuff.
Yeah, it's still my baby. I wanted a place where I could share these great experiences I'm able to have and make it inspirational for people, but also a reminder that it's all attainable, you know? Like, I didn't grow up with this kind of lifestyle or being interviewed or having fancy things. Like, that is all very new. And so to be able to show, like, you want that, you could totally have that, and you are enough and you're worth it. And it's also been a great way for me to connect with people.
So she learned how to prioritize and learn to manage her money. Even while she was making a lot of money through her jobs, suit, and different gigs here and there, she was still being frugal. So them together, so they know how to do these things, to manage their money, not to waste money. All right, so let's continue. But these who's making them their lives a living hell, how dare them talking about Harry and Meghan's financial situation? Because it's because of them that they had to leave. Freaking monsters over there.
You know, behind the walls of Buckingham Palace, what happens when the money runs out? You know, they've had a big lump sum for Netflix, he's got money from spare, and he has huge amounts of outgoings, and I think that is a worry that he will at some stage have to find more money from other outlets.
Thus, they have to work, and then you guys are complaining, oh, why they doing this, why they doing that. My goodness. Okay, I think the number one thing right now, when they go out, it's the security. But an everyday thing, I believe, is their mortgage. They have to make sure they pay for their mortgage. Okay, security and then mortgage. At least that's the way that I would see it. But the security aspect of thing, I don't know what they do every day, but it's when they're going to event. That's when they need the security. And I don't know if they have 24 hours people in their home or whatever, but that's a different aspect of things. But having a roof over their head, I think it's also priority. These two, security and having the roof over their head, the mortgage, go hands in hand. At least for me, okay? I don't know how they take it. Alright, I wonder why they don't think like that for the entire royal family who has been leeching off the taxpayers' money. This man sit there with a straight face, calculating a private citizen wallet while he's paying for a bunch of useless, dehydrated, alcoholic people to live in luxury. Alright, they also worry about the monarchy. Meghan is a smart woman and they have a business manager. They'll be just fine. Yeah. Alright, I'm the last one to worry about Meghan money management skills. Thank you. I remember correctly, she supported the prince financially when they first moved in together. Okay, there's that. And as well, while they at it, the Fragmore that they took away from them after they spent millions to renovate them, okay, if they so worry about that, they should return that money back to Harry and Meghan. Because they no longer have access to Fragmore, and then they spend all that money to renovate it, to put it to their standard, and all of a sudden they grab it away from them. That money should be returned. Okay? I just read that. Have these people never heard of investing? The interest alone will be sizable. 4.75% on a $4 million is $1.9 million per year, letting that interest compounded over a period of years, not to mention startup investment like Clever Blends and Meghan's earning from her book Suit and all of that. All right, and not only that, I believe she probably still getting residual from it may not be much, but from Suit. The median house, okay, I want to make sure this is not an ad. Okay, the median household income in Montecito is less than $200,000, so that woman clearly made up that $2 million figure. And from what I understand, the house that they bought, it was a deal. Not to my standard, I don't have millions, okay, but according to what was said, it was on the market for a very long time, but they negotiated it down. Okay. About in 2021, Montecito, California had a population of 8.49 thousand people with median age of 49.2 and a median household income of $193,423. Okay, Montecito, California. These people need to get a life and mind their business. The question should be, why are those grifters on Shutter Island still receiving taxpayers' dollar for doing nothing? How about focusing on that? Does anyone have Emily Andrews' calculation of their American expenses from 5 years ago? Okay, but how does that concern them? That's what I'm saying. They're actually making Harry and Meghan's life miserable. What these idiots have not checked is if Harry still has a mortgage with the money he made from Spare that may have been paid off already. I think they're probably still doing the mortgage thing just to build Harry's credit. Okay, it's been estimated that the highest security cost could be around $3 million if there is extensive travel. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know much about this, but you could just imagine is when they go in places, they will need the security. Okay, where are they getting 20 million? Okay, I think they need to worry about their own bills before worrying about two about to be billionaires with their small-minded foolishness. Okay, what has it got to do with them? That's the president says. They better get over themselves. Okay, Prince Harry had holes in his shoes and Meghan pay his bills. I have no idea what money those losers are talking about that Harry will need from royal family when they weren't giving him much as a working royal. Even if Harry and Meghan lost all their money, the last place they look for help is royal family. They probably paid off $9 million mortgage after the $100 million Netflix, $20 million Spotify, $20 million advance Spare, plus more money from 1.3 million copies sold in foreign languages and the bench, and from 3 jobs. Why will run out? Money invested. Brits cannot count, can they? All right. Hello everyone, I write travel blog. Okay, I don't want to read that. What makes it worse is that they are there already, financially independent, running philanthropies and garner attention and accolades, and they are happy. It's all too much for some folks apparently. They are and have been financially independent for as long as Harry received a huge sum of money as a child, half of Diana's will. Okay, so this is the thing that I was talking about, that this would have been blown away just on security alone. His father, My goodness. Most of the Queen's mothers, both multimillionaires, a few times over. On top of that, there is plenty more money since and numerous businesses. Alright? Esquire suggests even bigger worry that the Sussexes will do such a great job at what royals do as non-tax funded individual, thereby exposing the scam that's the monarchy, leading to louder calls for abolish the monarchy. The royal family should just concentrate, there's the thing here, concentrate on their effort on the UK and any other places that wish to keep them as head of state. That is their domain, and what Harry and Meghan do in the US and beyond should be no concern of theirs. Because they already showed they don't care about Harry. Dead or alive, I don't think they care about him. So why are they worrying about that? These people ignore Meghan so much, it will forever be their downfall. From the get-go. Start doing their Stone Age investigation on Meghan. Alright? Harry married a millionaire whose name alone is worth more than their heir plus his little duchy homes that aren't his, and money acquired from dead ancestors who stole from colonies. Yeah, Harry and Meghan are good. Alright? But you're not worried about Kate? There's another thing. Alright? They really think that they are living off the sign-up payment of their two deals since 2020. There's a life here. These people love to pretend so they can sell their lies. Ethic Investment, the firm managing their investment, went from managing 1.2 billion in 2021 to 3 billion last year. Not only that, one of the things that, and I'm sure Harry and Meghan are aware of that, they, even though they have someone who's managing their thing, they need to look into the numbers, because I've seen too many times where athletes, they rely on people to manage their thing, and then once they the managing company still pretty much everything, that's when they realize they have no money. So I'm sure they're keeping an eye on the numbers. Okay, whether Harry and Meghan can afford their lifestyle has got nothing to do with the British media and the so-called courtiers. Okay, after this, that's it. Obsessed with security, maybe it's because they received that, thank you, they received death threats themselves and their children, plus the concern around his mother's accident and the accident Diana predicted, stating if she were dead, she would no longer be a problem. She knew too much, same as Harry and Meghan. Alright, God is good. This is the ultimate protection that they need. God. Okay, and Princess Diana been through it, and she understands their concern. She will be a force, a voice in the Lord's ear to make sure what need to be concerned about. Alright, so I saw this. This is from SmartWorks. Alright, congratulations, SmartWorks, and thank you, Naomi Campbell at Hugo Boss. Now, the other thing that I have to say here, I don't know how she's doing it, but it's going under the radar. If you know, you know. But whatever. Let me focus on that. SmartWorks charity. So that was from IG. SmartWork charity. At SmartWorks, our passion lies in empowering women to achieve their goals, and we know that when a woman looks and feels her best, she can achieve amazing things. It's with great excitement that we introduce Naomi Boss, a capsule collection inspiring by and for modern, sophisticated women on the go. Naomi Campbell shared, quote, "You'll find pieces in the collection that are versatile and comfortable. These are the kind of pieces that reflect my own lifestyle, always ready for the next adventure, but never compromising on style." Okay, I thought there was more. In honor of Naomi Campbell's philanthropic effort, for every item sold online and in store from the Naomi Boss collection and the UK Boss, will donate one item from the previous collection. This initiative. So, from the previous collection. Okay, this one is crossover. So, I'm assuming things that are out of style, but whatever. Alright, so that is that. I covered this on the previous recording. Alright, so let me see here. Hold on for a second. Alright, so this is for something else. If I had continued and I didn't change the list a little bit, if I had continued with this, it would have been here. So there it is here, right here. But I'm not gonna cover it. I just added this into that. I switch it around, a long thread that one of the squad put. So let's go to it. Alright. Okay. Fall of the House of Windsor, Part 5. Okay, did I see Part 1, 2, 3, and 4? Did she share them here? Oh my lord, this is a long read. This is a long read. This is a long read. Look at the comment. Well, I'm hooked. All right, so let's cover it. Okay, I didn't see it. I don't know if I shared this. Okay, Fall of the House of Windsor, Part 5. William the Last, Extirpation of an Empire. Post-traumatic stress disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and alcohol use disorder, alcoholism, are all mental health conditions that often coexist. In William's particular case, he will have been exposed to the perfect environment for him to develop narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, NPD is caused by multiple factors, predominantly parenting style, genetics, and changes in the structure and functioning of the brain. In William's case, each of these is present. Now, previously, you need to be a licensed professional to diagnose anyone with a mental health disorder. So clearly, this is not a diagnosis, but rather hypothesis based on observation, which ironically is how the doctor do it too. We're all watching. Okay, so this is like a disclaimer. She's not a doctor. She's just saying based on what she's observing, like some of the things that I've said in the past regarding that. Okay, so let's continue. You see, as the years have progressed and more information have become available, it has become clearer and clearer that something isn't exactly right with this scenario. So if we were to break it down, what will we find? Okay, let's consider the factors. Parenting style. Now, this doesn't just pertain to parents. In William's case, it also pertains to staff, nannies, security, etc. Pretty much all the main adults in his life as he was growing up, and there were loads. Yeah. The Prince and Princess of Wales had countless household staff. Let's not forget her parents as well. Okay, communication staff, security staff, groundkeeper staff, chauffeur staff, childcare staff, cooking staff. There were people everywhere, and all those people will have reacted the same way in William's presence. They will have greeted him and treated him as a prince from day one, as the heir from day one, teachers, principals, and parents of other children as well. When it comes to parenting style, excessive pampering and considering a major contributor to narcissism development. By the same token, the opposite is true as well, and there is no better example than Charles, who also display character traits of a narcissistic. In his case, it was excessive criticism that would have been a major contributor to his current personality trait. Other factors include genetics. Both Charles and William share similar traits, so they could very well be a generic link. I think she's putting this in a more, even though she's not a licensed professional, but in a more cohesive way, because I think some of these, I've raised those issues as well in my own little way. Okay, when you look at Harry, William and stuff like that, and they're laughing at Harry for going to get help. Meanwhile, the ones who's laughing at him should be the one getting help. All right, let's continue. The third most common contributor is a change in the structure and functioning of the brain. Let's not forget that for whatever reason they say it was accidental, I'm inclined to think otherwise, and with good reason. A fellow classmate walloped William in the side of the head with a golf club when he was 8 years old. The injury required a 70-minute surgery at the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital for a depressed skull fracture. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Very interesting. Now, according to reports, William spent the night in the hospital and was sent home to recover afterward and suffer only a scar from the incident. But you must wonder what a good hard whack to the head. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. What a good hard whack to the head can do to an 8-year-old, particularly if that crack to the head breaks the bone and forces it to cave in on the brain itself, which is exactly what happened. Is that the part where the Princess Diana stay overnight with him? Okay, let's continue. Psychologists also point to other factors in William's family and childhood. A history of mental health disorder. William has 3 relatives who were confined to a mental hospital or hospice care for their entire lives because of mental and physical health issues that affect the brain. Also, a childhood with continued conflict and intrusion. Charles and Diana's marriage was rocky at the best and often resulted in shouting matches, crying spell, and constantly having the children on public display. Finally, there is also evidence of childhood conduct disorder. So if we were to consider all of that and say, okay, it's possible he could develop narcissistic personality disorder, then now we have Harry. So how come Harry is different? The thing is that Harry recognized his problem. He went and get help. Okay, how will that present? Well, there are some clear present symptoms. Not everyone has all the symptoms, but the most common symptoms are, having an unreasonable high sense of self-importance and require constant excessive admiration. This is what I said. Sometimes when, his office is leaking to the press, there's plenty of reporters who've said that. Okay, leaking to the press, the nonsense. And then when he reads the newspaper, how does he feel? Does he feel shocked and surprised and all of that? Oh, but anyway, let's continue. Feel that they deserve privileges and special treatment. Expect to be recognized as superior even without achievements. Make achievements and talents seem bigger than they are. Be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. This is what I said with the wife, okay, Kate. So I think the role changed. Before Meghan, they were fine with her, all right, to put her down, because I see some headlines before Meghan got into the picture, how they were treating both of them on the paper. But when they talk about Kate, the same negative thing. They were okay with that. But now Meghan come into the picture. Now all of a sudden they realize she need to work her game. Now, for someone who never practiced any of this stuff, okay, putting pressure on her, it's a huge thing. Okay, so that's that. Let's continue. Believe they are superior to others and can only spend time with or be understood by equally special people. Okay, be critical. And the other thing with the wife as well, because of the class system that she came from, he already see her lesser than. And sometimes when you look at pictures where she sits next to him, he looked like disgusted by her. But anyway, be critical of and look down on people they feel are not important. Expect special favor and expect other people to do what they want without questioning them. Take advantage of others to get what they want. Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feels of others. This is the part where I always say, it's like there's a piece of their brain that they literally remove and block everything else. Okay, be envious of others and believe others envy them. That is true. Behave arrogantly, brag a lot, and come across as conceited. Insist on having the best of everything, for instance, the best car or office. Oh my God, this is long. How much more? Oh my Lord. And I'm gonna read it all though. Oh, phew. For a minute I thought I lost this. Okay, at the same time, people with narcissistic personality disorder have trouble handling anything they view as criticism. They can become impatient or angry when they don't receive special recognition or treatment. Yeah, there's some stuff that I see William be doing. They give them the best bald-headed man. Oh Lord. Anyway, let's continue. Have major problem interacting with others and easily feel slighted, react with rage or contempt, and try to belittle others to make themselves appear superior. Have difficulty managing their emotion and behavior, experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change, withdraw from or avoid situations in which they might fail, feel depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection. This is the nonsense they put in their head. It's all they're doing. This is why they feel like the whiteness is superior than anything. Meanwhile, they don't know it's the hard work behind things. Okay, have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure. That's on them for putting big thing in their head. All right, if we go back over the years and look at the interviews and William has given, interaction that he has had with the public, and talk to people who worked or trained with him in the military, all these characteristics are present. with perhaps the exception of the feeling of depression, perfection, insecurity, shame, humiliating failures, etc., because it's not something he will disclose in public. Perhaps most telling is the interview with Harry. In every instances, I raise these a lot. William cut Harry off. Yep, when he's talking, he ridicules him. I raise these issues a lot. Yes, tries to embarrass him and humiliate him. William is cocky, self-absorbed, entitled, rude, and critical. Hardly the characteristic one would want in a future leader, let alone a king. Okay, Princess Diana was there to curb that, but they took her away from them. Okay, as the years have progressed, the leaking from Kensington Palace with William's consent and often William's direct involvement has shown these traits even more. Harry and Meghan have left. They have moved clear across the world and established their own livelihood separate from the family and the institution, and yet William cannot help himself but to purposely try to show up his brother and encourage everyone to ridicule and harass him. One thing that I said a while back is that the world is gonna teach William something because he refused to leave Harry alone. Alright, perhaps one of the most telling traits of his narcissism is the fact that for the past year, Harry has said nothing about his family. Should be more specific. Which family? The royal family. And I know what she means, but some people may not get it. The royal family. He has not spoken about his brother or to his brother in any manner. He has not spoken to or about his family in any public manner either. After releasing his book Spare, Harry made it very clear he will not return as a full-time working member of the institution.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family? No.
And he has said his piece and is moving on. That is exactly what he has done. But this act of moving on seems to have enraged William even more. Like he can't function without someone right there to pick on. That's on him, and that's going to be his failure. In fact, all of the press stories and foolishness surrounding the Sussexes are a direct result of either Camilla or William. More often than not, it's William.
It's been 17 months since you saw his dad. Last saw him at the coronation, where he was sullen.
Maybe that's not.
I'm sorry. No, you don't wait until your dad has come.
No, we don't know whether they've been speaking over the telephone.
We do know, Jeremy.
Well, no, we know because some reporter has mentioned it.
We do know that they did speak on his birthday, and Wills's people immediately leaked that phone call to the press.
It was William who released Meghan's private correspondence to the press and in court. It is William, the reporters have admitted on TV, is a source of all the nonsense regarding Harry. Harry, for his part, is ignoring it and just carrying on. Harry is thriving, William is drowning. Okay? Without Harry to pick on and without Harry fighting back, William is spinning. So, in a small way, perhaps, Harry's departure has increased William's drinking, but, okay, drinking, but I say something in that nature, but I was thinking in a different direction. Harry's departure has increased William's drinking, but only because William will not get help for his issues. That's it. Yeah. If I had to guess, it's because William, like many narcissists, doesn't think he has a problem, but he has several. William not only displayed the most common symptom of a narcissist, but also someone who has suffered from but not received help for post-traumatic stress disorder. The longer PTSD is left undealt with, the more problem it can cause down the road. Harry found this out firsthand when his PTSD was left untreated and he went to war. While William will not have had the type of experience Harry had, there is little doubt that the sudden loss of his mother and the event that surrounded it will have had a very intense effect on him. The subsequent wandering off of his father with Camilla affected both Harry and William deeply.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Why?
We didn't think it was necessary. We thought that it was going to cause more harm than good, and that if he was now with his person, that surely that's enough. Why go that far when you don't necessarily need to. We wanted him to be happy, and we saw how happy he was with her. So at the time, it was okay.
You wrote that she started a campaign in the British press to pave the way for a marriage, and you wrote, I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy.
Mm-hmm.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Charles, whether by choice or by stupidity, left them alone at school to deal with their losses on their own, something children cannot do. I'm laughing because of the stupidity part here. He doesn't care. One thing I realize is that I could be wrong, okay? I could be wrong. This is my opinion. But I realize that Charles, anything that came from Princess Diana, he doesn't care, okay? There's no feeling behind it. It's different when you have feeling for someone and what you produce with the person, there's a feeling there. But with Princess Diana, nothing. And I feel like what he did with Princess Diana was for the firm and said, here, there's 2 kids, deal with that. And he's done. Okay, so let's continue. Post-traumatic stress for a child who has lost a parent can lead to several problems, and each of them can impair future relationship and social interaction. Alright, with Harry, the way they were treating him, and what he saw, he wanted, the not having the mother, the fun that he used to have with Princess Diana. So I believe some stuff, these are all things I'm repeating. Some stuff he remembered and wanted to recreate those kind of things when he was a kid, having fun with his mom and all of that. So that little fantasy, I would not say fantasy because he had lived it, but that life that he once had, he wants to recreate it because he enjoyed it when he was with Princess Diana. So I think that's what he's doing now. But with William, I don't think he ever... Maybe he did at one point, but once Princess Diana died, the institution erased it on him. So now Harry is living the dream that he dreamt of. Alright? Untreated PTSD for children and adolescents suffering this kind of loss can cause problem regulating emotional identification and regulation control. It can interfere with cognitive coping skills, causing a restructuring in grief and trauma processing. And then all this nonsense that the media is doing, even though the media is worrying about themselves, but the lies that they're putting to please Harry, it's not helping, I'm saying Harry, to please William, it's not helping William at all. If anybody who cares for the institution, they should just tell him the truth. Alright? And then with the wife that he has now, knowing what Harry has, now he wants it. He wants someone like that. I don't know, maybe Meghan itself, but that's not gonna happen. So when he tried to make the wife be like Meghan, and the wife never been trained to do those type of things, he become very pissed, very upset. When in fact, all they need to do is gather people, specialists, people who will train her to do speech or whatever they feel like she's lack of, to train her. Alright? Because Princess Diana left a blueprint for them. All they had to do, look what Princess Diana did. Princess Diana didn't have good public speaking skills, but she recognized she had a problem. What did she do? She hired someone to help her. Alright? So that's what the others needed to do. No matter what, any woman that William has, he will never be happy. Okay? And I don't know which woman or well-minded, educated woman who want to deal with that, knowing what they're seeing already. If that person is educated, there's something's missing. Okay? To not recognize the problem that Kate went through with him. You don't need to be in the background to see it. Okay? That type of restructuring, and not only that, because they want to be front and center all the time, and when that woman started to shine, there's gonna be another problem with that. This is the part where they want something, okay? And then look what they were trying to turn Meghan into, to one of the freaking robot. Meghan was like, I'm not about that. Alright? So this is the thing here. Let's continue. That type of restructuring can have a detrimental effect on continuing bonds with surviving parents and relatives, ultimately interfering with future planning and physical reaction to stress. Alright, someone just sent me something here. Okay, repeated international studies on trauma have shown parental loss for children and adolescents created unique emotional and behavioral challenges. During trauma, the brain is primed to respond to ensure the maximum chance of survival. This safety response of the brain can, in some instances, keep the individual trapped within a cycle of trauma memories if the trauma is not dealt with sufficiently, which is what Harry was going through. And he said he never cried. So those things stuck in him until he got the help. This can cause part of the brain to be altered by the recurring trauma response. This is especially true for small children and adolescents. It is therefore imperative that the individual experiencing the trauma is helped through the process so their brain can be allowed to heal and move forward in its development instead of staying trapped in the surviving mode. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, failure to, because one of the things that I've always said, without any experience, as opinion, one simple thing, when you get a cut, the first thing is the body went into shock, as small as a cut can be, because the body is built to keep you safe. So when something that wasn't supposed to happen, the body went into shock mode to repair itself. Okay, so this is the thing that I'm seeing here with the brain. It always stays in a shocking mode, but what they need to do is to treat it. Okay, to bring it back to normal, to be in a relaxed state again. So when there's other issues, the body could focus on repairing itself again for something else instead of focusing on the brain only. Okay, the body is like a machine pretty much. So let's continue. Failure to do so can cause an individual to experience intrusive recurring memories, flashback, vivid dream, and nightmares. The effect of the trauma and the toil it takes can also increase a level of avoidance, and sufferers will begin to purposefully avoid places, people, objects, and events that can trigger memories or trauma responses. Okay, the long-term effect on an individual personality are well documented, and children who suffer from and do not receive adequate treatment for PTSD after the loss of a parent exhibit negative changes in their thinking and mood toward themselves and other people. They tend to experience feeling of hopelessness. As I'm reading this and I'm thinking what's going on in the Middle East, so many lives have lost, children. And there's one video which I took down because YouTube had its warning, otherwise they're gonna demonetize the channel. Is that this little boy who, I don't know, the most I could say 6, not even, and he was the oldest of 3 siblings. He's holding one sibling and then there's another one. Okay, I should not talk about this. Let me move on. I'm thinking of what happened in Middle East, that's all. Alright, memory problems, relationship problems, becoming emotionally detached, showing a lack of interest, or being overly emotionally charged for no reason. And I'm thinking as well, I'm going back to the Middle East. I'm telling you, those things you can't leave behind. Is that one of the charities, I forgot the name of it, that Harry and Meghan, Archewell, is supporting to help with those type of things. All right. Oh my God, this is long, but I'm almost done though. All right, let's continue. There are also the physical and emotional reaction caused by the ongoing trauma cycle. Many PTSD sufferers easily startle or frightened at loud, unexpected noises and event that stimulate trauma they may have experienced. This is what some of the veterans usually go through. And one of the things I said recently with Harry and Meghan holding hands is that maybe there's some issues with Harry still going on by holding Meghan's hand that probably level him, make him feel okay, he's there, he's present, or be in the moment. I don't know, I just thought about that. Okay, and I've said it recently during the Invictus thing that was happening in Canada, the 1-year thing. Let's continue. They are always on guard and in survival mode, looking for danger or risk. We've seen that in Harry, and I think I've raised that as well. Sufferers often develop self-destructive behavior. For children and teens, this can include drinking, drugs, careless sexual practices, and reckless driving or reckless activities. PTSD sufferers have problems with sleep, which exacerbates other symptoms. Difficulty concentrating and focusing can affect work or schooling, and sufferers often experience outbursts of irritability, angry outbursts, aggressive behavior, overwhelming guilt, shame, and anxiety. During the 2020 study, 46% of the study participants reported clear auditory hallucinations in the form of voices. Panic attacks and extreme anxiety are commonplace, and depressions co-occur in just under half of individuals with untreated PTSD. They say hindsight is always better than foresight. There is absolutely no doubt that William and Harry both suffer from PTSD after their mother's death. We know for a fact that Harry did because he raised it. And we know it wasn't treated until he returned from his second tour of duty in a war zone. It was the influence of the military and Meghan that convinced him to find a solution by seeking treatment. One of them was when some discussion Meghan was having with Harry somewhere in the kitchen. And then out of nowhere, Harry started screaming. And then Meghan left the room, removed herself from a uncomfortable space, and then when Harry realized, that wasn't spare, I believe, when Harry realized Meghan then come back, and he went and searched for her. And I think in a way it was good that happened. At least Meghan put it straight down for him and said, look, if you want to raise a family with me, this kind of behavior, I don't accept it. All right, this is where Meghan ground Harry, put Harry in his place. Didn't care if he was a prince or whatever. Ground him and say, if you want to move forward, I don't want this toxicity. She could do okay on her own. Okay, so Harry had to get help. All right, so that was very interesting, and one of the powerful part and spare for me. All right, the long-term effect was altering and liberating for him. William, on the other hand, scoffed at the suggestion when Harry approached him about it. Needless to say, it's unlikely that William ever got help, as he has continued to criticize Harry for seeking out and undergoing therapy, often referring to him as brainwashed by legion of therapists. PTSD treated is no laughing matter, and it can last for a very long time. And then when Meghan came with her issues and stuff like that, the entire British media went after her laughing. And this is why I have to give Hugh Jackman huge credit. Okay, he didn't have to, but he did. I guess because he's a patron of one of those mental health thing in Australia. He came out and put a video out, and I thought, I'm very respectful of him for that. Okay, to say this is not a laughing matter. Right, let's continue. This is one private person. You very rarely hear any. Well, I'm not in his country for me to know the ins and out of the tabloid over there, but at least over here we don't hear much about him. All right, so that I was aware of when he made the video. PTSD in combination with narcissism can cause a host of problems with relationship and social interaction. I don't think we would be too far off the mark if we were to say that William and Harry's relationship went south rather quickly after Harry got treatment for his issues. Yeah, Harry said something like it was they were speaking a different language to him. Yeah, and one thing, if William get help and see things for the way it is, I'm sure people will be able to forgive him. And then, not just by saying it, where his behavior follows along the words that he's saying, people will be very forgiving for him. Okay? Because he is still the son of Diana. If he had get the help and see reality for what it is and stop mocking and creating unnecessary issues, I'm sure many people will forgive him. Okay? But for the squad, the action and words have to be followed hand in hand. Don't just say and then do your stupid things. But let's continue. This can be for several reasons. One, Harry will have become painfully aware of the issues within his family and the institution as a whole. Two, Harry will have also become painfully aware of William's behavior toward him, and rather than sit by and continue to accept it, his therapist and his wife will have encouraged him to stand up for himself. Harry will have learned to work around the trauma response and found better peace in his everyday life and his sleeping patterns. And I hope some of the other royals, if they, it's not like I'm for royalists or anything like that, but if they exist, they might as well learn from what's going on in the UK right now. All right, so you have the Spanish one. All right, I see they training those the girl, the late, I don't know, now she's a lady, you know, to pick up the slack when she become. They're training her for the role that's await her, and I hope they're training the spare as well, which is a girl as well. You know, don't be the jealous. Mostly the heir, not to be jealous of the little, but instead be a team. This kind of thing. But anyway, let's continue. Harry's therapy, we know for Harry's therapy, we know for a fact, based on his own comments and his book, help him reduce his drinking and several other bad character traits that he has since gotten rid of entirely. William, there's the smoking as well, that stopped. William's response to all of this was to lash out. He criticized Harry and his therapist, called him brainwashed, and increased not only the leaks of twisted stories about Harry and Meghan, but also create entirely fabricated stories. Those attacks only intensified the further Harry walked away from William and his behavior. I'm almost done. More than anything, his narcissism became more apparent to the world. You see, narcissists have a very hard time dealing with problems within social relationship. They often suffer from depression, but seldom show it. They have serious issues with drugs and alcohol addictions, eating disorder, multiple physical health problems, and experience personality disorder and suicidal thoughts. If you look at the image, one picture of William, I think this is where I was analyzing, and I was like, there's some things going on there. He must be under something. Alright, so let's continue. Perhaps the narcissist's biggest issue is dealing with criticism. They simply cannot handle it and exhibit very telltale symptoms. They become impatient and angry when they don't receive special recognition or treatment. They have problems interacting if they feel criticized because they also feel slighted. They react with rage, incandescent with rage, contempt, and try to belittle other people to make themselves appear superior. We see this in almost every joint interview William gives with Harry over the years. I've raised many of these. They have difficulty managing their emotion and behaviors. They experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change, withdraw from or avoid situations in which they might fail. They feel depressed or moody because they fall short of perfection, but rather than show anger instead, have secret feelings for insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure. Individuals with narcissistic personality disorder exhibit grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, feeling unique to others, lack of empathy, selfishness, achievement focus, aggression, avoidance of unpleasant feelings, overly emotionally or unpredictable behavior, dominant defensive behavior, overestimation of their ability. The last paragraph. This is a lot. Both narcissism and post-traumatic stress disorder can contribute to heavy drinking and drug use. Left undiagnosed and untreated, the two can cause a need for the individual to not only withdraw from activities and events they feel uncomfortable with, but can also lead to individual to be more aggressive and demanding in work, school, and public events that they do participate in, making the event uncomfortable and difficult for everyone in attendance. As is often the case for many undiagnosed individuals, William drinking is most likely a direct result of unprocessed and untreated emotional behavioral issues stemming from his youth. Stay tuned. Part 6 is not far away. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. What did she put here? Okay, there's nothing here. Alright, let me read some of the comments. Okay, and I think this is it for, oh my god, it's 1 hour and 12 minutes. I wish them well. It's not the type of life anyone should have to live, but it's hard for so many to get help. William could have done what Harry did and set an example for others. I hope your friend continues on their journey for help. It's hard to do. Give him a hug for me. Okay, so this I cannot see. Brilliant writing, and what an education we are all getting makes me feel a bit more sympathetic toward William. This is the thing that I raised. I saw it and I raised it, And I was like, I don't care what anybody said. There must be someone who's providing him with something, especially the picture that I saw recently of him. That made me think of that. I'm glad other squaddies are seeing the same thing too. Just a little bit. Can't wait for what is next. Okay, part 6 is posted. Oh, she did? Okay, that will have to be for another. I didn't come across it now. Okay, I'm on it. Thanks a lot. Totally hooked on your writing. Thanks once again. Let us know when the book is published. Okay, so I'm done with that. Let me go into that and see if I see what she wrote. Part 4, 5, 6 were posted today. No wonder why I didn't see it. Alright, so this will have to be a different video. Oh, what the hell? What the hell is this? That must be an AI. I like that one. Alright, so let me look for them and then bookmark them while I'm at it. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so I just find all of the parts. Okay, so there's part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 I just did. Okay, so another time I probably will read each one for you guys and at some point share them on my community board with you. This is some very good discussion, but I need to finish some other things. I didn't even record these. Alright, so let's see. I'm already an hour, so let me do another video. Oh my god, I'm gonna be busy this weekend. Alright, so let's just leave it as that. Okay, thank you for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching.